Thanks, Angie.
Danke, my hard-hearted friend.
Let's go, Doc.
I am the Ubermensch.
What? Pow! Pow! Bang! Bam!
Many people believe that the 9 mercs of Team Fortress 2 are specialists, a person who concentrates primarily on a particular subject or activity, or a person who is highly skilled in a specific and restricted field. But strangely enough, when people are asked what class they should be playing as a first-time Team Fortress 2 player, they are often directed towards Pyro, Medic, or Soldier. Soldier and Pyro often being called the generalists among the 9 mercs, and they are relatively easy to play. The definition of a generalist is a person who is competent in several different fields or activities. So in other words, a jack of all trades. And if we're going by this definition, we must look at the class divisions in Team Fortress 2. Offense, defense, and support. Of our 9 playable characters, 3 people fit into each section, with Scout, Soldier, and Pyro in offense, then the Demo Man, the Heavy, and the Engineer in defense, and last but not least, we have Medic, Sniper, and Spy in support. So naturally, when you hear the suggestion that these fellows are generalists, you're under the impression that these guys can do everything. And in a way they can, but not in the way that falls under the actual definition of a generalist. Team Fortress is obviously a team game, but these classes don't really do much for their teams except in rare occasions. When people say that Soldier, Pyro, Demo Man, or Scout are generalists and easier to play classes, they say this because these guys are easy to play for yourself as. While yes, a Pyro could air blast his burning teammates, or a Soldier could use the conch to give his team a better chance to push, they're often playing for themselves and only ever truly interacting with their team to beg a medic for healing. When people say these classes are generalists, they really mean that there's never a wrong time to pick them, just because their defending and attacking is about the same. There's not much of a thought process change. But they aren't truly generalists. Sure, they have some sort of mobility and high damage output or higher DPS, but they can't assist in ways like healing or getting their team to the front line or flank instantly. They can't consistently defend an area with perfect aim. Oh yeah, the Engineer can just do that.
Need a teleporter here!
The teleporter is the Engineer's closest thing to quote-unquote mobility.
Well, Rocky Rad, what about the Wrangler?
Shush! Let me make my points. Stupid Wranglers. Get out of here. Go! Anyways, as I was saying, Team Fortress has always been a movement game ever since the beginning and when it was a Quake mod. So when you look at the Engineer, you don't think about movement whatsoever, which is fair because he's average speed and even slower when hauling buildings. But the Engineer isn't meant to go fast or fly across the map. He's meant to help the whole team get from point A to point B in an orderly and nearly instant fashion, or in some cases from point C to point B. So it's pretty obvious what the teleporter does, but the catch of being a quote-unquote jack of all trades is the fact that there's always a chance of there being something better than you. Right? So, if we're going by this philosophy, what is it that the other 8 mercenaries have that can get their team to the front line or even the enemy's flank? I mean, the Scout has speed and maybe Bonk could get to the back lines, but that's one little guy who can only do so much damage.
I don't even know where to start with you. I mean, do you even know who you're talking to? Listening? Okay. Grass grows, birds fly, sun shines, and brother, I hurt people.
So, this is probably the one thing that Engineer is truly unmatched in.